Hi there, welcome to the monthly collaborative video for Art Journal Inspiration. This is a collaborative video and you will find links below for my fellow collaborators. Please, when you're finished watching the video, go down to the description and click on their videos as well. This month I was the person to choose our challenge, and I chose Monochromatic, so using one color, and then you could also include obviously different tones of that, so you could have white or black in addition. I used a tiny bit of black for the very end. Otherwise, I pre-mixed a brown that would perfectly, or as closely as I could, match the brown pencil that I actually did the original drawing in. And this drawing is my drawing. I'm doing a collection of sprites, and this is my warrior sprite. And of course her armor, as any good sprite would be, is floral and represents the forest and land in which she protects, or is the protector of. Other than that, I did quite a bit of pencil work for shading and that type of thing in the beginning. I've been doing a lot of pencil work lately. I chalk that up mostly to the new Collaborators C-O-L-E-R-A-S-E pencils from Prismacolor that I purchased a set of a few weeks ago, and I'm absolutely in love with these pencils. I normally don't like to draw with colored pencils, mostly because they're a little too soft, and I do have a few that are standalone leads, but I actually bought too fine of a lead and it breaks too easily, so it's quite frustrating for drawing. And then someone mentioned these Collaborators pencils, and I thought I would give them a try, and in my opinion, they're the perfect in between of the too fine leads and the too soft normal colored pencils. They just hit the spot perfectly. I can understand why so many people love to use these, and I think of all the colors, the orange and the brown are my favorite. But I've actually been drawing with all of them, with the exception of the light yellow and the white, and I was rather disappointed to find that the white doesn't show up over watercolor, which is what one of the things I had been hopeful about. But no big deal. Using the pencils alone just to draw with, they just kind of it's still there, but they seem to just kind of fade away into my watercolor paintings, which I really love. I do normally draw with graphite, and I do actually normally use like a really fine graphite lead, so that it kind of, as much as possible, blends away. But I really love the fact that using these particular pencils means that for any pencil that I don't really want to show up, it just kind of I don't know, it just kind of fades really well into the background. And if I use a pencil color that goes well with the rest of my paintings, such as in the case with this brown, it actually, I think, kind of complements the drawing or the painting once it's painted. And I love that I can kind of leave the pencil lead or the pencil itself showing through in many places, especially when I'm able to color match this well. I actually did have to remix my colors several times, and my last mix was just a little bit more of a warm brown than the initial cooler brown that I started out with. Color mixing watercolor and getting it exact each time is not the easiest task that you can set for yourself. However, I have a tendency to underestimate how much I need sometimes, especially in this case where I had that large panel in the middle that I wanted to have a single solid color. That meant using up quite a lot of watercolors. So I probably should have mixed about 3 times the amount that I initially did. But practice makes perfect, and every time I do a piece like this, I try to remember what I learned from the last one that I did. The only other thing that I really can say or would like to say about this particular painting is that I'm using the Canson watercolor bound journal, and it doesn't, these colors that this color that I used, some of the different pigments that I used to mix this color are granulating pigments, and this particular watercolor journal, granulating pigments just don't do, the magic is just not there on this particular paper. Also, I am using the reverse side of it, which, has some bearing on it. It's a lot smoother. But the smoother the paper, the less obvious your granulating watercolors are, and I'm almost done with this journal. I have a handful of pages left, maybe 12, and I'll be glad to finish this and buy a different paper. This is a cold press, but I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that it's a thinner paper in this journal, but there's just not enough texture to it. I happen to love granulating colors, and so I need a heavily textured paper for that to show them off as much as they should be. But overall, this is a good paper if you like a smooth kind of hot press paper. This is a good paper for you. A nice little journal. I will end up having finished this journal in about a month and a half. And then I have a different Strathmore journal that I've already finished that only lasted a month. So, and this one has, 48 pages, and 8 of those pages were probably used up by my grandchildren. So on this particular one, front and back 40 pages. Lasted me about a month and a half. That's about it. I don't have a lot of other stuff to really talk about. I'm super excited to see what everyone else did with this particular challenge. I try to leave it pretty open, other than limiting it to a single color, and yeah, I'm just real interested to see if everyone does kind of their normal fare. So those of us who draw faces do faces, and those of us who do more mixed media type of art will stick with that, or if the limiting of the color will open up some new ideas for them. I think that's about it. Thank you so very much for watching. And again, like I said, the other artists who are also collaborating in this monthly challenge, their links to their videos will be in the description below, so check it out. Give them a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to them already. We'll have a new collaborator starting next month, so that's exciting. And otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you with another video soon-ish, or I'll see you somewhere around the internets.